When I first heard about the man in the vents, I laughed. It was one of those urban legends that kids at my university passed around late at night, a story to scare the freshmen. They said he lives in the old student accommodation building, Block C, the one that got shut down 10 years ago after a few students went missing. According to the legend, he crawls through the air vents at night, watches you while you sleep, waits until you're at your most vulnerable. If you wake up and you hear scratching in the walls, you're not supposed to move, because if you move, he knows you're awake. And if he knows you're awake, he comes. I didn't believe any of it. But of course, I ended up living in Block C. They reopened it this year after extensive renovations. I was a second-year student desperate for cheap housing. The price was suspiciously low, but I didn't ask questions. For the first few nights, everything was fine. Quiet. Then, I heard the scratching. At first, I thought it was mice. Old building, thin walls, no big deal. But it was too loud, too deliberate, like fingernails dragging along metal. Scrape, scrape, scrape. It always started at around 3 a.m., and it always came from the vent above my bed. I just ignored it and went back to sleep. One night, I came in late after a party and couldn't get to sleep. I lay staring at the ceiling, listening. The scraping started again, and then something worse. Breathing. Shallow, wet, like someone with a damaged throat. I stared at the vent, heart racing. Shadows shifted behind the grill, long, thin fingers slipping through the slats. I froze. The legend flashed in my head. Don't move. I held my breath for what felt like hours. Eventually, the fingers withdrew, the breathing faded, the scraping moved away. I laid awake until dawn. After my first class, I went to see campus security. They brushed it off. Old pipes, rats, you're overthinking it. I begged them to check the vents. They said they would. They didn't. A few days later, my friend Jamie went missing. We shared the same floor. He had heard the noises too, but laughed them off. He vanished overnight. His bed perfectly made, no signs of struggle, no forced entry. The police were called. Security cameras showed nothing. But I knew. The night he disappeared, I had heard 2 sets of breathing. I tried to break my lease. Management refused. Renovations are complete, Miss Parker. The building is safe. The maintenance guy pulled me aside afterward, his face pale. You should leave anyway, he whispered. There are crawl spaces behind the vents. Half the renovations never touch that section. Some parts are sealed off. I asked him what he meant. He just shook his head and walked away. Last night was the worst. I woke at 3:07 a.m. to soft clicking. Looking up, I saw the vent cover was gone. 2 pale hands gripped the frame. A face followed, stretched too thin, skin like damp paper, eyes black and unblinking. Its jaw opened far too wide, dislocating with a faint pop. It whispered, "You're awake." I couldn't move, couldn't scream. And the last thing I remember is it dropping silently from the ceiling like a spider. Now I'm telling you this from a hospital bed. The doctors say I was found locked in my room, curled in the corner, unresponsive. Nobody will talk to me about Block C anymore. They say it's under investigation. Right. They still don't know where Jamie is. But I can still hear scratching. Even here. I think he followed me. And tonight, when the lights go out, he'll crawl through the vents again. Because once he chooses you, he never leaves. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons, Old Penguin, Rinku Star, Melissa Perez, Icy Narrates, Seven Cities Journalist, Cupcake Hips, Eric Cifuentes, Alonso, Austin My Love, Ellie Hutmeyer, Jesse Hartley, Lawrence Wallen, Mr. Sankofa, and William Hartley. I always try to link a different charity in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to start having more things on my Patreon soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And as always, I'd love to know how I can be praying for you, so go ahead and drop a comment and let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.